right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
A weather impact alert overnight as storms roll in from the west before daybreak. The updated timing and what you need to do before heading to bed.
Tonight, a massive fire forcing some to shelter.
No student or staff was allowed to leave the building.
And others to evacuate.
It was a little stressful not knowing whether or not we'll be able to be at home tonight.
The latest from the Fredericktown plant fire.
But first, we start with breaking election news. Within the hour, we learned early voting will resume as scheduled tomorrow in St. Charles County.
This comes just hours after a judge granted an emergency injunction ordering St. Charles County Election Director Kurt Barr to allow poll watchers and challengers before voting can restart. The legal battle is playing out just 6 days until the crucial election, and as the county deals with an influx of voters causing long wait times and traffic congestion. Travis Hines, a member of the county's Republican Central Committee, filed the lawsuit claiming Barr's refusal to allow poll watchers and challengers to observe the voting process is a dereliction of his responsibility to ensure elections are secure, fair, and transparent. Hines claims Barr told him poll challengers don't apply to early voting and poll watchers are only for ballot counting, which doesn't happen until election night. The lawsuit includes a transcript from a local radio interview where Barr stated the vote count has already started. A hearing is set for Friday morning. Barr tells 5 on Your Side his legal counsel advises him that early voting can resume tomorrow without poll watchers and challengers. We'll continue to follow this breaking story on air and online at KSDK.com and on the 5 on Your Side app.
We are also in a weather impact alert tonight with thunderstorms moving and arriving while you will be sleeping.
Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with the latest on the tracking and timing of these storms. Scott.
You know, this system is behaving about as expected across the bi-state region, with the focus still well to our west. We think just around 2 o'clock from Pike County out towards Gasconade County and down towards Rolla. That's when things start to get active, and then it will sweep through the area through about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yes, this is a pretty intense line of thunderstorms here. It is producing gusty winds. The strongest storms, though, are farther down across southwestern portions of Missouri to the west and northwest of Springfield. These have a little more moisture to work with, but all along this line, the storms have been producing gusty winds. Our thinking at this point is the southern part of the line will be stronger than the northern part of the line, but let's track it out with futurecasts here as we head through the overnight hours. Again, through midnight, we're fine. Coming about 2 or 3 o'clock, right through 4 or 5 o'clock, that's when this moves through St. Louis. A few of these storms could have wind gusts 45 to 50 miles per hour with an isolated gust to 60 or more miles per hour, but the trend will be for them to weaken some as they press east and southeast of St. Louis, and any threat for severe weather should be over by 7 a.m. for all of our areas. So keep those devices charged. The severe thunderstorm watch just includes Gasconade and Phelps County until 4 a.m.
A massive fire at a battery recycling plant in Fredericktown is still burning at this hour. More than 20 different fire departments responded to the critical mineral recovery plant.
Roads in the area are still closed. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski has been working to get information all afternoon, and she has the latest live from the scene. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, these firefighters, as you can hear, have been working non-stop to put out this fire, dealing with small explosions and hot spots as that smoke continues to billow from the roof. Luckily, no one has been injured. The Madison County Sheriff's Office says first responders were called out to a large fire just after 1:30 Wednesday at the Interco Critical Mineral Recovery Plant, a newer factory near Fredericktown. They ended up evacuating homes and businesses near the plant.
It is absolutely precaution. We do not know what is in the air. We did ask plant manager or operations managers to be concerned we are. They weren't concerned, so we're just doing as they requested.
Al Watkins, an attorney for Critical Mineral Recovery, says there were about 75 employees in the facility at the time of the fire, and they were in the middle of processing large lithium-ion batteries.
The material that was being processed down in Fredericktown was actually new manufacturing scrap material.
Those batteries were used for vehicles. It's still unclear how the fire started, but the material is volatile, and they had a plan in place, getting everyone out safely without injury. The mayor of Fredericktown says while outside city limits, this is in their fire district. They've had assistance come in from all over the state.
So the facility had a fire suppression inside. They also had a large vessel on the property for emergency use such as this. Unfortunately, they have had to need more water than what was available, and so we're continuing to truck in loads of water from resources within the county as well as the city's water systems.
Fredericktown Fire asked residents north of the plant on Highway 00 to make sure all of their doors and windows were closed and not to spend too much time outside, as toxic fumes can be released with this type of material. As for the facility itself, the damage is extensive.
Yeah, it's going to affect, several families in our community. They employed a lot of the citizens, not just in Fredericktown, but our neighboring community here in Junction City where they're located, and then obviously Madison County.
Highway 72 is still closed from Lincoln Drive to the bypass. As you can hear, this is still a very active scene, and they're asking residents and other people who are curious to stay out of the area, as they have a lot of people crossing the street as well. The Missouri Department of Natural Resources was called out to monitor the air as well as any runoff. And Fredericktown residents and other areas can look to the Fredericktown Fire Facebook page for the latest updates. Reporting live near Fredericktown, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
Residents who live near the burning battery plant had to temporarily evacuate their homes as a precaution.
Our team coverage continues with 5 on your side's Robert Townsend, who met one family who waited it out.
Immediately after that fire at that battery plant here in Fredericktown, we caught up with a family taking temporary shelter right here at First Assembly of God.
My first thought was to call my wife and get the kids and get out of there.
Scott Bates and his family have lived in Fredericktown for 14 years. Wednesday afternoon, Bates was on the road returning home from Farmington when a church member called and told him their neighborhood had to evacuate because of this fast-moving, massive fire at a battery recycling plant.
At that point, my phone began to just chime in with text messages from various people.
Bates quickly loaded up his wife, their 4 kids, and trekked to their church, not for the usual midweek service, but for temporary shelter.
Eating a bunch of junk food and playing on our devices. We do everything together. We go everywhere, go to church here. Yeah, so being together is one of my favorite things that we can do, especially during a time like this.
After 3 hours, the family counted their blessings.
I'm very happy that nobody is injured or hurt, or, some of my friends' family works in the building where it happened.
And you bet they couldn't wait to pack up and return home.
It's a relief. A lot of uncertainty, but knowing at the end of the day that everything turned out all right, minus the loss of a building, it's good to know that we can go back home.
In Fredericktown, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Tonight, investigators have not said exactly how many people temporarily left their homes.
Tonight, we're following an interstate shooting on I-270. Police shot a suspect just before his car ended up in a ditch. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is just back from the scene, and Brent reports multiple agencies are involved.
That's right. Tonight, Mike, St. Louis County Police tell me it is taking over that investigation after officers from 2 different police departments fired their weapons.
Take a look as police officers guard the entrance onto I-170 here at Natural Bridge Road. We were here moments after it all went down, just before 5 Wednesday evening. Officers on scene well into the night.
The entire ordeal happening right at the height of the evening rush, shutting down I-170 southbound for hours.
I'm actually trying to figure out how to get on the highway.
St. Louis County Police tell me 2 officers from 2 different agencies fired shots.
That involved the Breckenridge Hills Police Department and the Woodson Terrace Police Department.
A police source says the man behind the wheel of this white Lexus fired shots, prompting officers to fire back. Here you can see the car ended up flipped on its side, right on the side of the interstate.
At this time, we believe there was only one person in the car.
The man inside taken to the hospital.
It happened today? Wow. Shock, bro. That's crazy.
A source says that man was wanted for DWI.
It is not clear at this time what led to the shooting. We did have information that there may have been some sort of chase, but at this time, that's all under investigation.
If they are protecting themselves, I mean, they want to go back home to their family just like anybody else.
None of the officers were hurt. No word on the driver's condition. If you witness this or know someone who knows something, you're asked to call police at that number on your screen, 636-529-8210.
We're learning the Bell Fountain Neighbors Board of Aldermen did not hold a planned meeting tonight. The closed-door meeting tonight was supposed to discuss a walkout of city workers. They walked off the job Friday, demanding better pay and working conditions. 5 on Your Side is still working to find out why that meeting was canceled. A similar meeting was canceled Monday when too few members attended to reach quorum.
Tonight, a small memorial is growing for the victims of a deadly house fire in Belleville. 3 men died Monday morning at a home on South 13th Street. 4 others, including an infant, escaped. 20-year-old Christopher Ellis was one of the men who died. His aunt says his girlfriend and 1-year-old son jumped from a second-floor window and survived. The couple had just learned they were expecting a second child.
He was a lovable person. He was so sweet, he was kind. It seemed so unreal, but it's real. It's real. I'm gonna miss him.
The cause remains under investigation. 79-year-old George Pappas and his 39-year-old son, Pio Quinto, also died. And we have links to help both families in the As Seen on TV section on KSDK.com.
Missouri is seeing a record turnout in early voting across the state.
That includes the thousands of people that have already voted in our area. St. Louis County is averaging 20,000 people per day at its 14 locations. The county surpassed 100,000 voters just yesterday, while St. Charles County is seeing nearly 5,000 voters a day. In the race for the White House, both presidential candidates are making their final bids to voters before Election Day.
Vice President Kamala Harris took her campaign on the road to hit 3 swing states in one day. She appeared at rallies in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin throughout the day, continuing her message from last night's rally in D.C. that she's making her closing arguments.
We have an opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump, who has been trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other. We know that is who he is, but North Carolina, that is not who we are.
Pro-Palestinian protesters interrupted her during that rally.
And back in D.C., the White House is responding to controversial comments made by President Joe Biden last night, where he called Trump supporters, quote, garbage.
He does not view Trump supporters or anybody who supports Trump as garbage. That is not what he views. If the president has said this for more than 3 years now, it doesn't matter who you voted for. It doesn't matter if you voted for him or not. He's a president for all. But hateful rhetoric that he hears, and this is something that we've done many times from here, we will call that out. We will call that out, and that's what the president said.
Former President Donald Trump used Biden's comments to build momentum. He showed up to his Wisconsin rally in a garbage truck and wearing an orange vest. At his rally, he called Biden and Harris, quote, a disaster.
My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. That's true. You can't be president if you hate the American people, which I believe they do.
If you have any questions about the upcoming election, check out our voter guide on KSDK.com for a link. Text the word guide to 314-425-5355.
Masks and fake muscles, creating a false sense of security.
Halloween night is a perfect storm of risk.
Scary safety concerns for trick-or-treaters. Consumer Reports looks into how to keep your kids safe on Halloween night.
Halloween evening is fine. It's the storms before daybreak that have us in a weather impact alert tonight. The timing and impact from these storms and what you can do to be prepared overnight.
Tomorrow's Halloween. Tonight we have a warning before you dress your child in costumes and send them out in your neighborhood.
Yeah, those bulky or puffy costumes might pose a serious safety hazard. Consumer Reports has some advice on how to keep trick-or-treaters of all ages safe.
Puffy Halloween costumes and outfits look super cute on our kiddos, but when it comes to driving around to deliver tricks and gather treats, all that excess material can interfere with the child's car seat's ability to keep them safe in a collision.
If your child's costume creates too much extra slack in their harness or it interferes with your ability to properly buckle them in, chest clip and crotch buckle, then we really advise you to wait until you get to your final destination to put them into their costume.
And Halloween is one of the deadliest days of the year for pedestrians, especially children. The risk of a pedestrian fatality is 43% higher on Halloween.
Halloween night is a perfect storm of risk. It involves darkness, heavy pedestrian traffic, especially that of children, and lots of additional distractions.
Avoid masks that block vision. Decorative contact lenses like vampire or cat eyes can make a costume pop, but they can be risky, causing serious eye damage if not used correctly. The FDA advises never buy contact lenses from a street vendor, beauty supply store, flea market, novelty store, or Halloween store. And you should always have a prescription. A hand-me-down costume is a great money saver, but if it's too big, your child could trip, so adjust it for a proper fit. Use reflective tape. Add it to costumes and bags, or give kids glow sticks so they can be seen more easily on dark and spooky Halloween nights. Stay on sidewalks instead of walking between cars or lawns where tripping hazards could occur.
And if you'll be driving on Halloween, try to park in a spot where you won't need to back up. And if you do have to back up, have an adult outside the car to make sure no children are in the way of your car when you do. Well, it was warm and windy today, but that didn't stop snow plows from driving around St. Louis County. Department of Transportation workers took part in winter training today. Drivers brushed up on plowing and salting procedures. They also drove their assigned routes. The Department of Transportation has 115 vehicles in its plow fleet. The county's winter operations team works 12-hour shifts when a snow or ice storm is happening.
Still in the 70s right now, though. We are in a weather impact alert. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell again with the forecast.
And this is for thunderstorms, not that springtime scenario where you have all the humidity. And that is a good thing for us tonight because that's one of the limiting factors with these thunderstorms coming in from the west. From about 2 o'clock until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, that's when our weather impact alert, that's when we're on alert here. The line of gusty storms comes in. 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts are going to be fairly common along that line, but there could be a couple of storms where we get 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Right now, most of this has weakened a little bit on the northern side of the line. It's becoming, the outflow boundaries kind of jumped out ahead of it. But down to the southwest here on this line, as it goes back into southwest parts of Missouri to the northwest of Springfield, there's a little more juice in this area, a little more humidity, and that means the potential is still there for severe weather. Severe thunderstorm watch runs until 4 a.m. It includes Gasconade County as well as Phelps County in the 5 on your side viewing area, all caused by this front approaching from the west, warm, humid air being drawn out ahead of that front, and a strong jet stream that's sweeping across the plains tonight. So ahead of this line of storms, we're in the 70s, and we'll still stay in the 70s until right when the storms move in. Then we'll drop back into the 60s. This is the timing out of the storms. The line getting into the metro area right around 3 o'clock. It'll be through Rolla by 3 o'clock. Still raining there, but it's about that 15 to 30 minute period right when the storms first start that we have concerns for the potential of those strong winds. After that, it's a period of rain for an hour or so, maybe 2, and then we're going to scoot that off and kick it out of here just in time for the trick-or-treaters. So again, from 2 a.m. through 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, that's when we have our overnight weather impact alert. You're keeping your devices charged, ready to act if you get a notification that there's a problem. We don't think it's going to be widespread severe weather. A lot of clouds tomorrow morning, temperatures in the 60s. And before you go to bed tonight, just make sure that you're secure. If you're inside, that's the safest place to be with these storms, right? So temperatures tomorrow, when the kids go trick-or-treating, low 60s around 5 o'clock, upper 50s as we head towards 6 o'clock, about 56 by 7 o'clock. That's not bad for Halloween. It'll be dry too. 75 right now. We still have that southeast breeze, pretty stiff and a little gusty. Eventually we'll drop back into the lower 60s as those storms roll in tomorrow morning. And then as you look at the next 7 days, yeah, we dry out here as we go into Thursday afternoon. Halloween trick-or-treaters, just fine. Friday, just fine. Going to a Halloween party maybe Saturday with a costume. Might get a little damp Saturday evening. Temperatures will be in the 60s, close to 70. Then the shower chances are with us Monday, Tuesday, probably dropping off some on Wednesday, but it just kind of waves of shower chances.
But much needed rain.
Much needed rain.
Yeah. Scott, thanks. Frank is next with sports.
Mike, we have a golf course in the area that Jack Nicklaus is helping out. We have a hockey team in the area that needs helping out. And on Frankly Speaking, why is sports so much better than the work world? We'll be right back.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
It's never happened before. A team in the World Series down 3-0 and coming back to win. Tonight in Game 5, New York smashed Jack Flaherty for 4 runs in 1 1/3 innings of work. They led it 5-0, but the Dodgers have come back. Right now, LA leads it 7-6 in the 8th inning. The Blues will play the Flyers on Thursday, and let's hope the Philadelphia story is better than what happened last night in Ottawa. The Senators erupted for 8 goals, the most the Note has given up in 4 years. The Blues have now lost 3 out of 4, and the locker room was understandably gloomy.
That's kind of 2 games in a row now, right? Where that's 13 goals by not playing the right way, and so that we're going to fix that internally, and fast and finish this road trip off the right way.
Just know that it's, not acceptable, and our effort and you could name it, wasn't even close to what you need to have at this level. So you just got to take it head on, know what happened, and you got to move on.
If you're a St. Louisan and you like golf, you've likely played around at Normandy Golf Course. It's one of the oldest courses west of the Mississippi. It actually opened in 1901. Mike Bush covered the opening. My oldest son, Alex, when he was just 4 years old, would beg me every Saturday morning to take him there. And now Normandy is being reimagined.
Let's go and do what we came here for this morning. Let's break some ground.
And that's what they did this morning. Civic officials put shovels to dirt to officially kick off the project, and bulldozers were on display. Work has actually begun on the new design by golfing legend Jack Nicklaus, who did it without being paid. The Nicklaus stamp indicates the magnitude of the renovation. They've already raised $9 million for the project. They want to raise another $11 million. The course will open in the spring of 2026.
We have to raise the infrastructure, build the clubhouse, build the maintenance facility, build what we're going to utilize to deliver these programs. The Caddy House, the Teen Tech Center, the after-school programs, those other things that are going to impact the youth in this region. Yeah, we can't stop now.
Celtics, Pacers tonight, and Jason Tatum is off to an awesome start. 37 points, including a game-tying 3 at the end of regulation. But Pascal Siakam hit the big 3 in overtime. Pacers win 135-132. Finally tonight, you've probably heard the story of Anthony Richardson asking to leave a game because he was tired. The Colts quarterback made a mistake. He will learn from it, and he has been benched. Joe Flacco is the new starter. He should have been a long time ago. Flacco has thrown for 7 touchdowns with just 1 pick. He's just better. Richardson was just playing because he was young and a high draft pick. Sports is normally not like that. It's cut and dry. You perform, you play. That's why we love sports. It's the most pure form of rugged individualism. It doesn't matter who you are and how much money you have or where you went to college. The best man or the best women get to play. In youth sports, the coach's son is usually playing shortstop, point guard, or quarterback. But as you get older, nothing matters but being the best. And that's why I love sports. And that's Frankly Speaking for tonight.
Coming up, the scent of the season, the new product giving your home the smell of a Thanksgiving feast without any of the cooking. The Muni released its 2025 season lineup today. The season begins June 16th with Bring It On. The theater will also perform Come From Away, Frozen, Dear Evan Hansen, and more. The season ends August 24th with Jersey Boys. You can't buy tickets yet, but gift cards are available now on the Muni's website.
Campbell's, known for their soup, unveiled 4 candles that smell like Thanksgiving sides. The scents include green bean casserole, jalapeno cheddar mac and cheese, apple fennel, and herb stuffing, and everything bagel seasoned mashed potatoes. Candles will go on sale on the company's website on November 18th.
Hard no.
We're in a weather impact alert. Scott's got the latest on the overnight storm threat.
You know, we're looking at about 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Those storms will be on approach to St. Louis. That weather impact alert is for gusty winds out of some of these storms. We don't think there's going to be widespread severe weather, and your best chances really are to the southwest of St. Louis. Phelps and Gasconade County with a severe thunderstorm watch until 4 a.m. The storms, the strongest part of them, they're east of St. Louis by 6 a.m. and pretty much out of the area by 7, even though the rain will linger a while longer. So a wet morning commute, but it's only a 15 to 20 minute period of gusty winds.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
And be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.